Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wildcard Weekend. This is the second and last edition of Power Rankings. 14 teams to go through. I want to quickly say if you're a new subscriber, it'd be greatly appreciated. Leave a like and let me know your thoughts down below. Now let's jump right into these. Number 14 is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Steeler magic has been on full force in order to get them into the playoffs. Rodgers has seemingly found a second win on the season after their loss to the Bills back in Week 13. They really stepped up their play in the second half against Baltimore in order to win the division for the first time since 2020. Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell are a solid running back duo, and they're going to be getting DK Metcalf back after his 2-game suspension, which is a massive re-addition to this offense. TJ Watt returned in Week 18 after missing 3 games, and it could not have been at a better time. He had a big interception in that win against Baltimore. Still don't know how to feel about the Steelers in full. They're a notoriously good team on Monday night and at home, which the home playoff game is going to help them to some degree. We'll see how they play against Houston on Monday, but for now, they come in at number 14. Number 13 is the Carolina Panthers, and it's great to see the Panthers in the playoffs, even with the way that they got into it, being the most NFC South way possible. Bryce Young has looked good at times this season, and the combo of Rico Dowdle and Chubb Hubbard has been great for them. The defense has made some plays, but all around is just a fine unit. They have pulled off some very funny upsets this season, including the win against the Rams a few weeks back in the season. They're going to have another chance to do just that with that rematch game against the Rams to kick off the playoffs. Should be interesting to see. It's a great opportunity for the Panthers nonetheless. This is a great step forward for the franchise looking to get back to a sense of relevancy. This is a great moment. I'm excited to see how they play and get their first look at the playoff action with Bryce Young. But time will tell. They come in at number 13. Number 12 is the Green Bay Packers. And the Packers end the season with a 4-game losing streak and injuries unloading on them at just the wrong time. Even with that, though, they've had some moments in games down the stretch here where they looked pretty good and were playing pretty close until they kind of just let it get away from them, more so looking at that Ravens game. The biggest injury was the one to Micah Parsons late in the game against the Broncos, and since then their pass rush has not been the same at all. They've really struggled to get home in that time. They only had 2 sacks in the final 3 weeks since that injury. Both of them were against the Vikings in Week 18. There's a lot of concern there for that defense, concern for the offense as well, who have their own fair share of injuries and kind of lack of play the past few weeks. We'll see. They get a rubber match against the Bears in the first round. Going to be a great game to watch, assuming the Packers can play up to level that they did in the other 2 games. We'll see. For a team that had a lot of expectations entering the season, seemingly going to be a bit disappointing, but that's the way the NFL works. They come in at number 12. Number 11 is the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Chargers are an interesting team this year. A defense that's been playing really well down the stretch, holding teams to about 17 points per game since their Week 12 bye week. They got Marion Hampton back at the right time. Herbert has been throwing well leading into the rest week they had against Denver. Things are feeling good for the Chargers, but there's 2 really big issues I see with this team entering the wildcard weekend. One of them is the weakness of the offensive line. Herbert has been sacked 19 times since their bye week, and they ranked bottom in the league in both run block and pass block sets according to PFF. The other is the fact that they are indeed the Chargers. They've been in this position before countless times. They've come up short countless times. There's a reason why Chargerin has become a verb amongst the NFL fans. We'll see if they can get over the hump this time, but with that offensive line play, not really too confident in it. They come in at number 11. Number 10 is the Philadelphia Eagles. The defending champs are back to the playoffs, and they're also the first team to repeat as NFC East champions in roughly 20 years. They did this through a defense that has carried this team multiple times throughout the season, even when the offense has really struggled to move the ball, especially in the second half of games. The offense throughout the season didn't really match what the expectations were based off of how they played last season, and even with someone like me who was expecting a bit of a downgrade in performance, they still even underperformed that. If they are going to want to repeat, the offense is going to really need to get consistent, and their identity is going to need to be on full display in some of these games. Saquon Barkley needs to be a massive factor. Jalen Hurts needs to be able to get the ball out and just get it to his guys like he did last year. Play calling has been a massive issue with Kevin Patula, but again, they find themselves right back into the spot as the 3 seed. There's really not a massive excuse for the Eagles besides the fact that it's just them having to do it again, and teams are starting to figure out their style. But even then, they have the talent. This Eagles team should be a lot better than they have been this season. So they come in at number 10. Number 9 is the San Francisco 49ers. And with all the injuries the 49ers have had this season, they have surprised me with being back in the playoffs after the season they had last year. Brock Purdy has missed some time this season, and even with that, he's been playing really well. DMC is continuing to be Christian McCaffrey, has been carrying this team a lot this year, just how dominant of a player he is, both in the run game and as a receiver out the backfield. The defense is destroyed with injuries, but they've been managing really well. Fred Warner is potentially going to be back if they make the NFC Championship game. In the meantime, though, they're going to be down to their third string middle linebacker as backup Tatum Bethune is out for the rest of the season. Injuries are the biggest concern with the 49ers, but at the same exact time, they still have Kittle, they still have Purdy, and they still have Christian McCaffrey going. As long as Christian McCaffrey is healthy, they're going to be able to compete because he is that dominant of a player that can pretty much do it all. The receiver room has played well this season, even with it being arguably a weaker receiver room than they've had in years past. This is still a 49ers team that is coached well with Kyle Shanahan, is playing to a good level. Robert Saleh has definitely improved that defense as their defensive coordinator this season. Going to be interesting to see. They come in at number 9. Number 8 is the Buffalo Bills, and this is the best possible chance for the Bills, it feels like, to get over the hump, and it feels like they've only stepped further down that hump since this time last year. They're finding themselves on the road in the wild card round, and with a team that feels like there's too many things that need to go right in order for them to be at their best. The O-line has been a bit rough this season, especially with the third down passing situations. Josh Allen is being sacked on third down. A career high, it feels like. Is definitely close to it, if not exactly there. Definitely a lot higher than it has been the past 2 seasons. The defense is an issue, especially the ground defense being weak all year. It is the 5th worst ground defense per rushing yards per game given up in the league. Much like the Chargers, the Bills have been in this position plenty of times in the past, and there isn't a lot of confidence I have in them that they'll be able to have a different outcome this time around than they've had in years past. So with all that, the Bills come in at number 8. Number 7 is the Chicago Bears. They ended the season with a pretty tough loss, but they're still in for one of their better seasons in a long while. Caleb Williams has took a massive step forward in his development with Ben Johnson as head coach. Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, and Kyle Monangai have all played massive roles this season as rookies to get them some very key wins throughout the year and get them to where they are now. The defense is forcing turnovers at a great level, but on the flip side, they rank 6th worst in the league on rush yards given up per game. The Bears took a massive step forward from last year to this year. Ben Johnson is the coach of the year candidate for sure. Getting in the home playoff game is going to massively help this inexperienced playoff team to get accustomed to playoff football a bit easier. It's a rubber match against the Packers in the first round. Going to be a fantastic watch and a great game. Should be really interesting. The Bears come in at number 7. Number 6 is the Houston Texans. The Texans feel like a team that can easily go on a run this season and be that Cinderella team, mainly because of the defense. This defense is a top defense in the league. They've been playing at an incredible level, being one of the large reasons they're in the playoffs after the 0-3 start. They are 2nd in the league in points allowed per game at 17.4. The offense played well in the season finale, and really since Stroud has returned from injury, they've been slowly finding their rhythm again. They started the year 0-3, won 9 straight to end the year at the 5 seed and a game away from repeating as division champs. They've been playing playoff football for the past few months at this point, so why not be able to continue it into the actual playoffs? I'm really higher on the Texans, even though I only have them at 6. I do still feel like they could be that Cinderella team this year. As long as the offense continues to play like they did against the Colts and not like they played against the Raiders a few weeks back, they're going to be just fine. The Texans come in at number 6. Number 5 is the Denver Broncos. The Broncos win the division for the first time since 2013, and they have looked really solid in doing so. Though there have been a few concerns here and there. They ended the season winning 5 of the last 6 after their bye week. Bo Nix throwing for an average of 252 yards in those games. On the flip side, the ground game isn't quite the same as when J.K. Dobbins was in the backfield. At points, they would get fine showings, but then there's definitely room for improvement. The defense has still been a really good unit and making very key plays in every game to allow them to be the 1 seed in the AFC. The Broncos are a similar team where that defense is going to be a large reason as to why they go on a Super Bowl run this season, as the offense does not need to play to that elite of a level in order for them to be able to win games. The Broncos come in at number 5. Number 4 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Early on this season, the Jaguars were one of those teams that felt like it was a random draw at the level of they would play any given game. Well, to end the year, they put the pieces together and were looking unstoppable. During this win streak, Trevor Lawrence has thrown for 251 yards per game, and they're putting up points with ease while the defense is shutting down teams as well. I feel better about Jacksonville now than I have felt about them the past few weeks. Just continued success and some really solid wins against fellow playoff teams during that stretch as well is a good sign for them. Though there is a bit of concern about quality of opponents, as really there's only 2 wins against playoff teams in that stretch. But still, the Jaguars have looked good throughout the entirety of that. And when they've played those two playoff teams, they dominated them during that stretch. So yeah, the Jaguars come in at number 4. Number 3 is the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams might be a wildcard team, but they have been playing well enough to be a legit contender this season. At 12-5, they have an MVP candidate in Matthew Stafford. Puka Nacua has been absolutely fantastic this season. You'll be getting Devontae Adams back for the wild card, which is a massive addition to this offense as well. He's a big red zone threat for them. The defense has continued to play well, although they gave up roughly 30 points per game over the final month of the season. They were playing some really good offenses in that same time, though, so a bit of a grain of salt there. All 5 of their losses this season have been by 1 score, and 2 of them in overtime to divisional rivals that they would beat at other points in the season. I'm still high on them. They have a tough hill to climb, though, as being the 5 seed does tend to lead. But still, I'm really high on the Rams, looking really good still. They come in at number 3. Number 2 is the New England Patriots. A lot has been made surrounding the strength of schedule that the Patriots have had this season, and that is very fair. But at the end of the day, you can only play who's in front of you, and the Patriots have been handling business in those games anyway. It's a defense that has been playing well throughout the season, giving them just about 19 points per game, while the offense is second in the league in points per game at 29, right behind the Rams. They are getting complete team efforts, with May throwing the ball really well and doing a great job pushing the ball down the field, while he has Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson being a great running back duo for them as well. They've made it really tough to shut down that offense, as there isn't a single thing to focus on for their success. It is a truly team effort. They're getting great efforts from every single person amongst that team. They're getting the O-line's getting healthy at the right time as well. The Patriots, for as much as I hate to say it as a Dolphin fan, are looking really poised to go on another run this season. They start off in the wild card round, but I'm not too worried about them still. They come in at number 2. Number 1 is the Seattle Seahawks. The 1 seed in the NFC is back in Seattle for the first time since 2014. Throughout the season, they have definitely surpassed my expectations for them. Mike McDonald has done a great job coaching that defense, getting the most out of a really talented roster that they have. Sam Darnold is showing that last year in Minnesota was not a fluke. JSN has blossomed into one of the better receivers in the league. The duo of Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet in the backfield has been fantastic for them. They have the talent, and making teams travel to them is going to give them such an advantage. It's hard to really fully put it into words. I'm excited to see them in the playoffs. This is a Seattle team that definitely feels like they are ready to make a run this year, and if not this year, they could definitely become a continuous contender in the NFC. It's going to be a very fun playoffs for the Seahawks. We'll have to wait for the divisional round, but they come in at number 1. So there you have it. The Pittsburgh Steelers at 14, Carolina Panthers at 13, Green Bay Packers at 12, Los Angeles Chargers at 11, Philadelphia Eagles at 10, the San Francisco 49ers are at 9, the Bills are at 8, the Chicago Bears are at 7, Houston Texans are at 6, Denver Broncos at 5, Jacksonville Jaguars at 4, Los Angeles Rams at 3, New England Patriots at 2, and the Seattle Seahawks round things out at number 1. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I'll see you all next time. Have yourselves a damn good one. Peace.